Okay. Let's see where we're at here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Hi, Andrea.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, how's it going?
It's going pretty well. Had my third week of sales conferences with publishers last week. Turned 57 on Saturday. Still standing.
Happy belated. Did you celebrate
Thank you.
Did you celebrate as only a 57-year-old can?
It was very mellow. It was very stormy in the Eastern Sierra. So I
Okay.
basically sat by the fire and read all day. It was nice.
Sounds like an ideal day to me, that's for sure.
For sure.
It's wonderful, and especially now that I'm fully into geyser, territory, it just was exactly what the doctor ordered.
I just think that because I'm 61 and I have completely embraced. I wish I had this mentality when I was like in my 30s. just not giving a you know what and just doing whatever the heck I want.
Yep.
Maybe I always did do that though.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah. All right. It looks like it's just us kids today. So it's going to be the Andrea and Amanda show. So I got the share screen on for you. So if you're ready, Andrea, you can go ahead and take it away.
Okay. It looks like something's going on with Edelweiss right now. So I don't know if I don't think that it's gonna show up very large. Like I can't, blow up my screen basically to show the cover, but whatever, we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah. See, it's as you can see, there's just that little thing. The first book I wanted to talk about is Foster. I've already talked about this. But this is just a great book, great gift book. There's still a couple of copies left at Warwick. So call today to reserve one of these copies. It is going gangbusters across the country. I have a feeling that it's going to be on one of the next year's like best of, like award winners for this year. It looks like Tom Benton's, yes, Tom is in and out.
Oh,
Can you see me?
I'm losing your.
But it looks like you're on like sort of
Like an old TV, like
yeah, like
UHF or
like Stranger Things, like you're in the underworld or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm losing his signal, Captain.
right.
Yeah,
That's what it looks like to me too. Let me. I'm sorry to crash the party late. I didn't think I'd make it, and then I could make it, and then so now I'm just disturbing everything. So.
All right. Well, you want to log out and log back in?
Yeah, I'll try that. That's crazy.
I know it's really
kind of cool though.
It's kind of cool. It is kind of cool, but it might get kind of distracting.
Okay, well, we'll see ya. So Foster basically is by Claire Keegan, who's one of the great contemporary writers that we have. She's Irish. She won the first ever William Trevor Award. She is amazing ever since the first story I ever read by her back in 1998. Like it was clear then, it just knocked me for a loop, and it was clear then that she was just somebody to watch. And this is a slender little novel / novella. It's a beautiful story of a young girl who goes to live with her aunt and uncle because her family doesn't really have any money and they can't like afford to support all their children. And so she spends the summer with them, and something has happened. I'm not going to break the news. Something's happened that to her aunt and uncle's family that just makes this connection really beautiful. And the last 3 pages made me weep. I do not cry often when reading a book, but it is very affecting. And I know Julie can attest to the power of this story. So this,
It's so good.
it really is. It's, she also did small things like these last year, which is A Christmas Story. And that was also affecting. And I mean, these are just classics in the making. So I don't know. Tom may be talking about one of his favorite Irish books.
Well, I'm not today, but yeah,
at some point,
yes.
Thank you for sending me that, by the way. And but there's just something about her, and in the grand tradition of Irish literary writing, can't go wrong with this. $20 hardcover, Claire Keegan from Grove Press, Foster.
And I've talked to so many booksellers, more than just Julie, but Julie especially, who love this book so much. Like, it is just so, they hold it close to their heart.
And you're right, Andrea, because talking about it too much kind of, because it is a one sitting kind of book. So it's not like you have to invest a lot of time, but it is so powerful. And it's so, it's just so good. I'm going to probably go over at the very end. We did this last week in our newsletter. We did kind of gift book recommendations for everybody. And several booksellers picked Foster as their selection for the book of the year for them for a good gift giving book. Because it's one of those that truly you can give to anyone. And it is just a little treasure. And Andrea, I don't weep at all. And this
And proud of it.
I know.
I'm kind of proud of it.
No, I know that. I know about that.
But the end of this it does pack just like, you're just like, oh my God, it's so good. It's just so good.
Really, it's just a beautifully wrought marvel. And I also think that this would be appropriate to give to a precocious young adult reader as well.
For sure.
For
No
sure.
question.
I mean, I think I should teach it in high school honors classes myself.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Beth is on here. She said, happy birthday to you, Andrea. And
Thanks,
yeah,
Happy birthday, Andrea.
yeah, her birthday
thank
was
you.
on.
Yeah, it was this Saturday. I share a birthday with the great eccentric poet Emily Dickinson.
Oh.
About 135 years in between.
I share with Bill Clinton. Just saying.
Bill,
Make of that what you will.
the Arkansas kid. Or
Just
whatever they're
throwing it
called.
out there. And it was going to be the lady show. Somebody commented that it was the lady show, but we're so glad you showed up, Tom.
I know. I'm sorry I crashed.
We're
No, it's
couldn't
okay.
resist.
It's all good.
we're very happy that you crashed. So
Yeah.
with that, take it away, Tom.
But I kind of missed my original screen with the
It was really
Stranger Things.
It was definitely Stranger Things.
I tried it again and it did do the same thing, but the third time was the charm.
Love it.
So I guess we've talked about how we don't have a lot of new books out this week. So I'm going to go back throughout the year. So Love and Saffron. So this, I just had to print this cover, but this is another little gem that it's a good, nice follow-up to that book because it's, well, for one thing, it's short. It's a one sitting read, and it's told partly because of its length, but partly because it's told in letter form, which we've talked about throughout the year. We don't get a lot of these kind of books like, what was it? Is it 18 Charing Cross Road? Did I get that wrong? I think I did.
Whatever number.
84.
84. I knew.
It's an 8. There's an 8 in there somewhere.
I knew it was an 8. Yeah. But anyway, so this is a love letter to, the 1960s. It's a love letter to food. So it's about the correspondence between an older food writer in Los Angeles and a young woman who reads her column every week or every month in the magazine that she's published it in. And they start exchanging letters and become pen pals and friends ultimately. And it's very affecting. I love the Los Angeles of that time period. Is, I wasn't here, of course, but I can imagine myself there back then, here back then. So, and this has become a favorite of a lot of people. I mean, and again, another easy gift, food, friendship, and in just the size and the one sitting part, people love, I mean, there's a appeal to that. So, this was from February, I think, of this year,
Yep.
Love and Saffron by Kim Fay.
And it's definitely one of those that crosses all, and Beth is on here, said, she said Love and Saffron was delightful. So yes, it
Oh,
really was, Beth.
Excellent.
But it also covers all age groups. My 29-year-old daughter loved this one.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's not just, it's, so if you're kind of questioning like a gift book for somebody that you maybe don't know their reading taste or whatever, I think it kind of can go, and yeah, Beth's given several copies away, especially for foodies. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's a very
it's-
easy book to give, but that's so nice to
Really-
hear. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So it's not ageist.
Yeah.
But the other one, wait a minute, what was I was going to comment something else about somebody. Oh, so Kim is on here, and thanks whoever recommended Gilded Mountain. That was Shannon who did Gilded Mountain. And then the other one that Kim wants to thank is All This Could Be Different. And Tom, I think
Oh,
that's
yeah, that
you,
was
isn't
me.
it?
Yeah, yeah,
That's you.
yeah.
So thanks, Kim. Thanks for
Excellent.
those reading. This is what I
Awesome.
just love about this. Amanda, you want to tell us about a book?
Yeah, I'm repeating myself, but
I think everybody is today.
yeah, I just want to mention again, and I'm repeating other people too. Hernan Diaz's Trust. If you know someone, yes, if you know someone who enjoys books within books, books about storytelling and its potential pitfalls and strangenesses without saying a lot about it. This is just a wonderful book. And yeah, the New York Times picked it as one of the best 10 books of the year. We still have a few copies. I don't think they'll last very long. So I wanted
It's-
to mention
We're
again.
reprinting because of the New York Times 10 best list.
Yeah,
so-
but I don't know if you wanted to give it as a holiday gift. I'm not sure how soon those will be back in. So yeah,
I think we still have some copies at the store though.
we have a
And Kim-
few.
And Kim is on here saying that she read Trust too, and it's so good, so good. She capitalizes. And Trust is not just a New York, it's on every list.
It's on, yeah,
I have seen Trust on just about every list.
right. Well, and as I've said, I love lists. I live for lists. And I think Publishers Lunch counts up the number of lists it's on.
Okay.
Every book that's on a list. And right now it's Our Missing Hearts and Trust are tied for the number of lists that
Oh,
they're on.
they're on.
But-
Yeah.
But you're right, Trust is on. I feel
Every
like,
time I see a list, it's on it. But so I wanted to see the list, the New York Times, but I hit the paywall. I read too many, so I was like, oh, screw it.
Oh no!
But I wanted to see what the best historical fiction list was, and I missed.
Oh,
that
I
one.
can tell
well,
you
and
about
Trust
it.
was on that list too.
It
Was it on
was,
the historical fiction
Yeah.
one? Okay.
yeah. So
Well, and I also will add about Trust. I mean, it works on, so I've said this a lot, but it works on so many levels. It's also a book. It's also about money. There aren't a lot of books that are explicitly, or at least in part, about money
Right.
and capital, and that is this book too.
yeah, and
Right.
if someone told me that the book was about that,
I
I'd be like,
know.
ew, I don't want to
I
read
know,
that.
I know.
And but you just have to read it.
I'm laying that on top of all of your the storytelling and the, yes.
Right. Right.
Yes.
But it is.
The-
Yeah, you're right. And
the
that was
title
kind of
is very
like what
clever.
The guest book by Sarah Blake was a little bit, I mean, about
Mm.
class and,
Yeah.
more of that, more so than money. Beth, I'm not sure who recommended George Sanders' Liberation. I'm
Hmm.
not sure
That
who-
was probably Steve.
Is he a George
See,
Sanders?
although-
I thought George was,
He is.
is he Steve or is he Wade?
He's Wade,
That's what I
Wade.
thought.
Ah.
so-
but maybe a
Well,
bookseller or
Maybe it was a bookseller or, he's just,
Hmm.
Yes, you do a story and then break. That's exactly how you do it. And then who did the Dead Romantics? Is that you, Tom?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what Beth's currently reading.
Oh,
Um,
excellent. There's
yes.
there will be a new book from her next summer to
Oh,
also.
fun.
That was
Oh, cool.
another one that was mentioned in the year's best romance in the New York Times.
That's right, like their favorite romance of the year.
Yeah. They said this romance has haunted me since I finished it, and it has become the standard by which I've judged everything else from this year.
That was nice.
Okay, that's a big
Yeah.
one.
Uh-huh.
That's so okay. Maybe put in the or just show me a picture. Does the New York Times just have a picture of all the books?
No.
Okay, never mind then. We can talk about it later.
Oh.
I was just curious. All right. Okay, Andrea. What's
Okay,
next?
I want to talk about A Heart That Works by Rob Delaney. This is from Spiegel and Grau and just hit the bestseller list upon its publication. This is, not everybody will be interested in this book initially because of the subject matter. It is hard subject matter. Rob lost his son to a brain tumor. But this is just such an amazing story about dealing with grief and coming out the other side of it because of love and all of the love that this little boy gave to his family in his short time on earth. And it is incredibly well written. It's on the bestsellers list. And the publicity is off the charts. I mean, he's on every, all of the big name, off the, book page type of television, morning shows, getting some really solid reviews. The cover, Anne Lamott, the great Anne Lamott there on the cover says, filled with grace and beauty and unimaginable pain. And I mean, it's true. Like I said, not for some readers, but I just think that this book is such a wonderful rendering of life lessons along the way and dealing with something that we all will go through in our life. And I just think that this is a book that's going to be around for a while. One of the great memoirs on loss and grief and love. So that's A Heart That Works, $25 hardcover from Spiegel and Grau. And there's stock in the store on that. So
I
Awesome.
saw a clip of him on Gail King, CBS this morning or something. And it
yeah,
was the most amazing clip because they were both she was tearing up and I loved his response, and she was apologizing for tearing up. And he's like, no, you're having a human response. Like so many of the interviews celebrities do are not, they don't feel real. This felt real to him. And he responded in a very human, real way. You just don't see that on television. It was incredible.
Right.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's true. It's like a real thing, right? And okay, sorry, my partner's calling me, does not know that I'm on.
You're on live TV.
I'm just
Speaking of
glad it's
live
not
TV,
me. I thought maybe it was
I
something
know.
I had
I was
around
looking
here.
around me too. I was just like, where are we? Well, that book, I mean, that's the thing that some of those books are hard to read, but it's just but their stories need to be told and you need to share in that.
Yeah. I mean, it is something that we're all going to go through as human beings,
Right. And it's
And-
just so tragic, but it's just
Yeah. But really, it's really just a message of love. Okay.
Right.
And that's, if that's not part of the holiday season, then I don't know what is.
right. Right.
So, but it is, and if somebody is just interested in the memoir form, I think this is a good one.
Good. Okay. All right, Tom, what do you have for
Okay,
us?
so One of my favorite writers is Mohsin Hamid. So this was Exit West, which we did before the new book. So, but I just feel like The Last White Man, his most recent book that came out in August, isn't getting enough, just didn't get enough attention. And maybe that's because it's a difficult book. It's not an easy read. I mean, it's short. I mean, all of his books, as you can see, are he's intentionally writing short books that he wants as many people. He doesn't want to scare off a single reader. He wants to invite all readers in. And yet he's dealing always in Exit West, he's dealing with immigration, emigration. In an early one of my maybe my favorite of his books is How to Get Filthy Rich in Rising Asia, which was globalization. I mean, it's a love story. I mean, he's dealing with
The
weighty
Reluctant
subjects.
Fundamentalist.
Yes, right.
you
I
know?
know. Yeah, they invite you in, but then they force you to tangle with difficult subjects. Same thing here. So Anders, the main character, wakes one day in a world that feels similar to ours, and yet it's different. But there's a lot of similarities. He wakes up one day and his skin is dark. And suddenly that's something you're hearing about a lot of people having. Suddenly their skin is dark. So this is a book that addresses race head on in almost a mythic-like telling of this story. And I just feel like there's no one who sees the world more clearly than Mohsin Hamid. So I always want to know what he thinks about what, and sure enough, like each time, like when immigration was on our minds as a country, as a world, Exit West. When race is on our mind, this is the book he gives us. So it was just on the list today for the Aspen Award for, I can't remember what it's called, but it's Aspen Writers Award or something. It's got a really good list of books, and this is one of them that's nominated. The Last White Man by Mohsin Hamid.
Kim, that's on here, read it. So
Oh,
Kim
good.
read and said how it was really powerful. It is. It's just, you're right, Tom. He just gets you right between the eyes.
Right.
And
And sometimes
just
it makes you uncomfortable. Sometimes it reassures, but most of the time it makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah. And it is, oh, Beth's on here saying she forgot about Last White Man. Glad we're reminding you, Beth.
Oh, excellent. That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for. Because it really is. And if you have a book club that likes to tackle these kind of topics,
Yeah, that's
nobody
right.
does it better than Mohsin Hamid. He really does. I mean, he just is. And he is, I've told you the story where Tammy and I shared a bottle of wine with him after our event, and he stayed
Oh, yeah.
around for like 2 hours after the event. We're sitting in the closed bookstore. It's me and Tammy and Mohsin Hamid for
That's
2
amazing.
hours.
Right.
If that's not a highlight, that's
Yeah.
That's very cool.
yeah.
Well, also when I haven't really seen him talk about this book, but he has a way of talking about the subject matter, the deep, profound subject matter, in a way that does make you feel hopeful. Whenever
Right.
I've seen him,
Right.
even immigration, he had a way of making us feel hopeful.
And that's what Kim's saying, because the interviews, because she's watched some interviews around what he did, and he does make it really interesting. And he in his brevity in his writing, you still get the whole picture, but it's always great to hear him talk about why he's writing it and how he's,
Yeah.
what he really wants you to take away from it. I love that book. I love everything he writes.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I really do. And he does I love that he just like smacks you between the eyes. It's
Yes,
just like,
and I do think the one that has stuck with me the most is How to Get Filthy Rich in Rising Asia.
yeah.
It's a beautiful book.
It's a beautiful book. Oh, all of them are. And I think one of the things that might be a little bit hard for some people is because he doesn't give you a place. It can
Yes.
be anywhere, both in
Yes.
Exit West, especially, Exit
yeah.
West was
Yeah.
just, so you have to just kind of just go with him.
That's right.
know.
You have to make that leap and
Right.
go with them wherever.
And just go with him with the story that he's telling you, because he doesn't give you, he doesn't say this is New York City and he doesn't do that. You can be just about anywhere. There's a university. Never mind, I'm not being able to talk. Amanda, save me. What are you going to talk about next?
Universality.
Yeah, there you go. I'm being Norm Crosby again.
Well, I also have since.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, go.
No, go. I forgot. Sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. No, I also have a wine with an author story, Julie. Hernan Diaz,
Oh,
but it was in virtual space. It was at a conference during the pandemic, and we were in a thing called Kumo Space, which almost looks like a little video game. And you kind of zoom around a room, and they have little stations for the different authors. The authors are actually standing there. They have little avatars. And so I was zooming around this virtual space with a virtual glass of wine. And I was about to just zoom right past Hernan Diaz, and then he yells at me, "Hey, what kind of wine are you drinking?" And so we talked for like 20 minutes.
That's amazing.
It was so great. So
that's
Just the two
so
of you.
cool.
Just the two of you in this virtual
he-
space.
him and
that.
other booksellers were zooming around the room, and I think maybe his publicist was there as well. So it was a lot like being at a conference, but in this
That's
weird
cool.
virtual
That's
space.
where the virtual world, to me, it's like when those kids wear those things that like you're, in like a metaverse or
right.
whatever. It's like my brain I can't quite figure it out.
Yeah, I was pretty dubious going into it, but it turned out to be really fun.
Really fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
right.
sort of cheating, but I want to mention Melissa Clark. So
Mhm.
she does a lot of recipes for the New York Times, and she has beautiful books like this one. I say we're cheating. I'm cheating because we don't have this one in stock right now, but we have two other ones, Cooking in French, and her new one, which is it's a one pan cooking cookbook. And I want to mention her because I'm kind of an insecure cook, and I've made a lot of her recipes, and they're elegant and tasty, but easy and approachable. So I'd say if you're looking for a cookbook, which always make great gifts for someone who maybe is sort of an insecure cook, I would recommend Melissa Clark's books.
So Beth's concurring with you, and she says it's a great cookbook and it's helpful for busy people. So there you
Yeah,
go.
I mean, and it's all quite elegant. Like I made this red wine pear cardamom cake for Thanksgiving,
Ooh.
and it looked really awesome, and people said it was great. And I'm not really known for being an exemplary baker or cook in any
Cool.
way, and so yeah, it's
That's
and
great.
they're very beautiful, as most cookbooks should be.
Yes, they should, and there should be pictures. There must be pictures.
Yes.
All right.
That's cool.
And then she also said that you were the star of your own video game when you were talking to.
I'm also kind of in love with Hernan Diaz now.
Well, I would be too. Come talk
What's
to
not
me
to love?
in my avatar world. All right. Okay, Andrea.
Okay, now on to the wolf suit. I've talked about this before. Sid
Oh.
Sharp just wrote and illustrated this gorgeous kids book starring a lonely wolf whose name is, what's his name? Bellwether Rigwilter. Okay.
I love it. Gotta love it.
I know. I love it. And he's lonely, and he thinks that he can protect himself from the scary forest by dressing up in a wolf suit. So later on, he dresses up in a wolf suit so that he doesn't get eaten by the wolf, and then encounters the wolf. And don't worry, he doesn't get eaten. But this is such a great story. I love the vivid sort of idiosyncratic artwork too. It's sort of like, it's almost like outsider self-taught art, right? And which makes sense because this is really a book about the perils of the pressures of conformity, and also learning how to build community to avoid feeling anxious and lonely. And it's just a really beautiful message for kids. And I also think that adult collectors, this is a good book for adult collectors because the art is so great and interesting. And I just think it's a winner. I think there's a couple copies still. I mean, I know there's copies. I think there's like at least two. And it is a 1999 hardcover picture book for 120 pages. So that's a really great deal. Okay, that's a holiday bargain. Love that book. So
It is. And the art is just so great.
yeah, love it.
It really is great art. So I love
Yep.
that one. All right, Tom.
Okay, I was trying to find some other stuff here, but I what I have is I don't have the numbers to back this up, but I think I
Are
would
you gonna
say-
make stuff up like I do?
Yeah, exactly. This is, at least on the Penguin, what I sell, I believe this is the best-selling hardcover of the year.
Wow. Okay.
It's because it just has sold and sold and sold. And it was a big book from the minute we published it, I think in May. So Geraldine Brooks's Horse, one of my favorite writers, period. People of the Book, one of my favorite books of all time. And I think this is for me, my favorite of hers in a very long time. So it's the story of Lexington, the horse, just around the time of the Civil War. And then as always with her book, she's layering on, she's connecting time periods. So we have a story in the contemporary with the bones of Lexington the horse. We have the famous painting of Lexington that is discovered in the 1950s. There's art, his art in the art world of the 50s. There's a painting of Lexington, and then she takes you back to Lexington the horse itself, with especially focusing on the enslaved people who were part of the reason why Lexington was the most famous horse of its day, or maybe any day. So she's a master of this kind of fiction, historical fiction that, weaves together these time periods, but also comments on the time, on 2022. It's brilliant. She's just really good at it.
Yep.
And then this is Geraldine Brooks for the holidays. Definitely a book for almost anyone, I think. But then next year, it's not from us, but it's a different part of Penguin Random House. If you love this and you're interested in Lexington, there's a big book about Lexington the horse called subtitle. It's called Lexington. The subtitle is The Extraordinary Life and Turbulent Times of America's Legendary Racehorse. So I think in the wake of Geraldine Brooks's horse, there'll be a lot of interest in Lexington.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
never read her, so that's somebody to put on the ever burgeoning.
Yes, for sure.
list.
Okay,
Yeah.
so honest to God, Tom. So before I go to that though, Kim on here, her book group read Horse, and she said it was a great conversation. So
Oh,
it
excellent.
really
I
is.
would be.
there's-
I bet there's a lot of things to talk about. Yeah.
There's so much to talk about on that one, but I'm so glad that you brought up People of the Book, because as we were talking earlier, Andrew, about being old, and this is an old brain, I was trying to remember a book that I was talking to somebody about that was still like top 10 all-time favorite books, and it's People of the Book.
Yep.
And I
Me
couldn't
too.
read, for the life of me, I was like, what was I thinking of? And it's People of the Book.
Oh, that's
I
excellent.
loved that book. That book was,
I just gotta order up some stuff from
Well, you-
Warwick.
yeah,
You also need to order up more time in your day and
right.
life, because that's
Well-
part of the problem.
We've
Well, yeah,
decided
I
that
mean-
as we age, we're just going to just like say screw it to everything and just kick back and read.
Well, I mean, you should see all of the new e-manuscripts I downloaded onto my iPad from the 3 weeks of sales conference meetings I
can
had,
imagine.
Oh
it's just,
man. I
it's
know.
unbelievable. And like, you have to read, at least like 50 pages
Right.
of a novel. Not necessarily as much for nonfiction.
Right. You can
But
get the
just to get a
the
feel
idea.
for it and be able to
Right.
talk to booksellers about it, but and then like you start telling me about Geraldine Brooks,
I
and
know,
I gotta like
exactly.
try to find some time to read somebody else's.
Well, because she won the Pulitzer for March. Was
For
it
March, yeah.
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 So she's kind of the real deal.
She is.
Oh, yeah, and it's just, it's just one of those people I've missed. I mean,
Yeah.
I just got around to reading the whole Jane Smiley, the
Oh, Thousand
Golden
Acres.
Age and all of those, that trilogy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
unbelievable too.
Like blew my mind. But
You know.
I came to that late too,
Oh no, I'm so late. It's like I never read Louise Heritage. I mean, there's just so many that I just like. I feel guilty about some that I haven't, but so
Well,
I'm
there's
still
a
pretty
lot of
well read.
choices out there. There's millions,
I
literally.
need to what I need to
millions.
stop though, and I truly need to stop. reading mysteries because I just need to stop because they make me angry. I figure it out, and then it's just like everybody's like, oh, the twists are great. Oh, this and that. And it's just like, no, it wasn't. And
Is it
I
really
figured-
always?
always, I have not
Oh.
read a mystery that's been recommended or whatever. Cause I always think, oh, this will be a good, just like, instead of like heavy reading or whatever, right? No, I need to stop. I need to just stop.
Maybe you need to start writing some crime fiction.
Yeah, I'm not that good.
Surprise a reader.
Yeah, I'm not that. I know when it's good. I just don't think I could create it. So I'd be one of those people that somebody read my book and go, I saw it coming.
I do like mysteries, and but they got to be really good.
But
They
here's
gotta
the thing, everybody goes, oh, it's all about the journey. It's like, no, it's not. I want a really good twist and I don't want to see it coming.
No, it's not.
It's like,
It's not, Julie. It's about the journey. But
I
okay.
don't want the journey.
Well, how about, I mean, I don't read mysteries a lot because I have the same problem, but Anthony Horowitz.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, every time. No?
I
Oh.
know I haven't given him a try, but I'm just like, I'm
You just
swearing him
know.
off. I'm
Oh,
just
you haven't-
swearing off. I've never
You haven't read
Anthony Horowitz.
Magpie Murders?
No,
Oh man.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to. I'm
Oh.
not trying not to name names and name books because I know there's a lot of mystery readers out there.
Well, I mean, like I just read that profile in the New Yorker of Nick Herron for the guy
Yeah.
who wrote the Slow Horses stuff. And those are amazing. I think they're amazing adaptations. I mean, they're great.
I love the show. The show was
Yeah.
fabulous.
I just watched the first season like a
Yeah.
week ago, and it was fantastic.
Okay, everybody's on here loving Anthony Horowitz. So Kim that's who she was thinking
Now,
of. Best
And then
love. So
also,
all right.
another
Okay,
great
you guys.
adaptation from one of my authors, The Old Man.
Oh yeah.
That is really that whole series. That guy is great too. And there are some great atmospheric books.
Atmosphere, Julie. Atmosphere.
It's atmosphere. And that's one thing that I do like about the Nick Herron. You might be able to figure out what's going on, but
Yeah, I don't know. I missed my
Did
expectations.
you watch
are
White
too high.
Lotus?
I didn't. I'm hearing
just has a-
conflicting things about
It had a mystery ending that everyone was speculating about. I
right.
won't say anymore. I really
Yeah.
like
Okay.
yeah.
My husband and I can't agree on, and we finally started watching was that brunch show with Dan Levy.
Oh, I've heard about it, right?
We just can't decide on anything. So it's like, so we watch a silly, it was very cute.
I think I'd rather go to brunch.
I know that's all it made me do. All it made me do is want to go eat breakfast. It was just
Yeah.
like, I need to go eat breakfast.
I mean, honestly, for me, I would rather read a mystery than
Yeah. Yeah.
watch the day.
than watch
Yeah.
a brunch show.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
Amanda, do you have a last book? Or
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go through kind of what our staff picks are.
Okay. If you need a gift for the person in your life who loves California and deeply cares about its future when it comes to its ecology and climate change and everything, and who also loves a beautiful book, Obie Kaufman's The Coasts of California is an awesome gift. Like,
Yes, it is.
yeah, it's so beautiful.
I love you have
And
little
it's-
page markers on it.
Yeah, look at the seals. So it's not
Thanks so much for
it's-
talking about this one. It's a great book.
it's subtitled a California Field Atlas. It's not a field guide. It's it's very methodically set out, but it also rambles in a good way. And it's just full of his beautiful, beautiful illustrations. Here's let's see. My favorite is Raven. Yeah, he is an artist adventurer and is also very poetic and passionate about California and helping people understand how incredible a place it is. It's just one of a kind. There isn't a place like California in the whole world when it comes to
It's true. Ecosystem, everything. There's all
it's
kinds
a
of
magical place. And all of his
It's like
books,
Disney was here.
what?
And so, and he
It's
did,
like
Oh.
Disneyland's
that's
here.
part of a series. The first one he did is the
Yes.
California, this is the first one, the California Field Atlas. So that just covers like the whole state. And then he started breaking it down. So he did coasts, the coastal
Okay.
area. Then he did forests, which is very cool. And then the next one is the deserts.
Oh,
That will be out, it might be out in 2023 in the fall, but I don't know, because this takes a long darn time. Because he's wandering around. He's like somebody like Wordsworth or whatever, who like went ambling everywhere, right? I mean, he actually goes to all the places.
love it.
So anyway, I'm glad you talked about those books because they're really,
Really good gift books for California people too.
Yeah.
That would be those would be really
yeah,
good.
I mean,
Yeah.
like any time of the year, you can give that book or, put it on your coffee table.
Coffee table. Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely the kind of book I would want just sitting next to me at the fire, like to leaf through when I feel like taking a little
When you don't feel
imaginary
like reading a mystery.
armchair travel.
All right. Amanda, maybe you can put the link because I don't think that people would be able to find it just on the website. Put the link into Facebook or what our gift book selection. Now, when we say gift book, it means gift giving, not necessarily that they're like big gift books. So let me show you what we all have come up with. Where am I? Here we go. Okay. So here is our favorite for holiday gifting. So Nancy Warwick picked Beyond the Canyon. I picked Hester. I loved Hester. And you know what? Sherry, it's so funny because Sherry, Tom at Vroman's, when we went up to your author dinner, her and I were like, we commiserated on this. And also there's a new one coming out called Wayward. And Sherry's a pretty distinctive reader too.
Yeah, well, and I will just say, I haven't seen Lori Albanese in a lot, but I knew her 20, 30 years ago before she was writing books. And I'm so happy to hear that you love the book. That's
I
great.
loved it. There's a bookseller we have at the store who her and I have completely opposite on this particular book. We agree on other ones, but she's a Nathaniel Hawthorne aficionado fan.
Oh,
And so she did not appreciate some, and I was just like, oh, but it's really good. So
it's a shame Gabe isn't on this call because Lori's husband worked at Harper and maybe, I'm sure still does. and
Oh.
Has for 30 years probably.
wow.
Yeah.
All right. I'm trying to see how I can get, oh, here we go. So Like We Carry by Mallory's picking that. There's some kids books. I think Jacques Pepin was the Amanda Bareilles picked that one. John and Madeline picked that. Rhonda picked Feels Like Home, or Linda Ronstadt. So we've got a really good variety. Smile, which is a memoir. Book of Days. There's Foster on there. Kim and Madeline picked Foster. Mary W. and Madeline picked Small Things Like These. Musical Tables, the Billy Collins, Other Birds. Mary Lee picked that. These Precious Days by Aunt Patchett. So anyways, if you're looking for
Great
some
list.
ideas, that's a good thing to kind of pop in. There's lots of different books on that too. I'll give everybody a warning now, or maybe I shouldn't. We're going to be here next week, but we're actually not going to be here on the 26th.
We're gonna be dark.
We're
Okay.
going to be dark, the first time ever, I think, that
I
we
was
like.
thinking about it and wondering what would be would you ever decide to do that?
And the only reason is I'm going to be in Sedona. I could give you all the link.
Yeah.
I could
It's
give
probably
you-
okay to take a week
It's,
off.
yeah, and Amanda's going to be gone, and I'm going to be gone, and you're looking at the two tech people.
Yeah.
So it's I'm kind of bummed because we've
Yeah,
had
me
this,
too.
Yeah.
we've had
Me
this
too.
streak.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
an
know.
unbelievable streak.
I don't know, maybe. Oh, now you're all making me feel bad. Maybe I
Don't
should
say it.
figure
Don't
out-
say it yet. Just think about
Yeah,
it.
maybe. Yeah, I don't want to break the streak. I really don't want to break the streak. So we're gonna have to figure this out. I don't know. So anyways, all right, everybody, it's been hopefully we've given you some good recommendations. I know, Kim, sorry. I can't believe I don't know. We'll figure it out. Amanda, you're gonna be out in the desert though somewhere, Amanda, aren't you? Gonna be like camping or something? You're not gonna be anywhere near a computer. And
That's
I'm
the
gonna-
plan.
Yeah, I will be somewhere. I don't know. See, I might be able to pull this
If
off.
you have internet access. And...
I do. I will. It's just a matter of if I'm going to be like at the Grand Canyon that day. So
Right.
if I'm at the Grand Canyon, I won't be able to be there. But
Well,
Thank
actually,
you.
I won't be in the desert quite yet. So
all right, we're not
Yeah,
completely.
You
we're not
haven't given it up
completely
yet.
giving
I
up
like
yet.
this.
it's the day after Christmas. Are you two going to want to show up, for example? Tom and Andrea?
Oh, I might.
Yeah, it's hey, work starts again. You know,
Andrew's
what?
like, no.
No, Andrea's
I'm off from the 19th through the 3rd. So yeah, I don't know, but
yeah. Because here's the thing I feel about the 26th and the holiday that week. That's a really good week to give people ideas of because they've got downtime. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's a really good time to give people ideas. You're not doing gift giving, it's just like the me.
Yeah,
read.
we're like for me, I'm already switching gears to 2023. Like
Oh, I did all 2023 stuff today. It's like all the events that I put on the calendar. I think Amanda's gonna kill me today. I put lots of stuff on the calendar. And for Andrea, it's just like this is that's when we come to old codgers that just sit around and drink in between that time, right? Just read and drink. All right, I've babbled on enough. Thanks, everybody. Happy gift giving shopping. We've got two more weeks.
thanks,
We got 12. We
everybody.
got 12 days. 12 days to get those.
12
They-
days.
12 days.
Yeah, Beth pointed out we
Okay.
will have holiday gift cards to spend on books.
I
after-
That's right.
know. That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. So we might have to figure out. Okay, you got to figure this out. Fear not.
Live from the Grand Canyon.
Coming live. Yeah, that's what I'll be. I'll be like with a GoPro or something.
But remember when I was on my trip across the country, I was in the trailer,
That's right.
whatever, like,
So if Andrew can come to you from a trailer, I'm just worried about the connectivity if I'm trying to get it. So anyways,
Yeah.
we'll figure it out. I'm not giving up the gig yet. So we'll see. All right, everybody. See you. Have a great week. See you all next week. Bye.